Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very warm welcome on behalf of Sri Panchatattva Temple, Dublin Krishna Temple, for this Sunday online discussion on the title Attracting the Supreme Attractor. Let us offer our obeisances to Sri Panchatattva. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatara Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. The glorious Sri Panchatattva who have come to spread the love of Godhead, Shree Krishna, in this whole universe. So let us offer our humble obeisances on to the Panchatattva deities of the Sri Panchatattva Temple, Dublin Krishna Temple. Today, the topic of discussion is attracting the Supreme Attractor. Please do mention where you are watching this from so that we can understand that. And also, if you're watching the replay, please do put in the hashtag replay and we can continue the discussions. If you have heard me before, you probably would have noticed that my voice is a little bit different today. I got a little bit of cold and cough, basically. And therefore, if something happens in between cough or co, something comes up, please apologize. My apologies for that. So before we start discussing on this wonderful topic, attracting the Supreme Attractor, let me offer some prayers to the Guru Varga. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Shreshtham Manamapi Shachiputram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Murupurim Mathurim Goshthavati Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Adadandastranam Dante Idam Yacha Punah Punah Shriman Rupa Padambhojam Dhulisyam Janma Janmani. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today our topic of discussion is attracting the Supreme Attractor. So first of all, let us understand who is the Supreme Attractor. And then let us understand how we attract the Supreme Attractor. So the names of the Lord are many. The Lord has unlimited names. He is unlimited in himself. And one of the names that we give to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Shree Krishna. Krishna. What does Krishna mean? Krishna means Akarshati iti Krishna. Sarva Akarshati iti Krishna. One who attracts everyone to himself is Krishna. So he is the Supreme Attractor. He is the supreme cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara Paramah Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Shree Krishna. Who is Shree Krishna? He is the most attractive personality in this whole universe. We can try and look at some people whom we admire in this material world, some people who look wonderful, beautiful, lots of money, lots of fame. The body is wonderfully sculptured body. And Krishna says that Mama Tejo Amsha Sambhava, that whatever great sparkling thing that we see in this whole universe, it's just a fragmental portion of my unlimited splendor. So that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who attracts everyone to him. How do we understand this? We understand this by the pastimes of Brahma Vimohana Leela. So when Krishna appeared in this universe, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that whenever there is discrepancy in executing religious principles, dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. He is addressing Arjuna as Bharata. Abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So to take off all the irreligion out of this material world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally comes in his own transcendental form. Avajananti ma mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananta mama bhuta maheshwaram. Krishna mentions that unfortunately, when someone does not understand that the Supreme Person is coming in his transcendental form, they unfortunately think that he has taken some material form. Absolutely not. Whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead is incarnating, he is incarnating in his transcendental form, Satchidananda Vigraha, full of truth, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. So when we understand the Brahma Vimohana Leela, so Brahma, he is the creator of this universe, Chaturmukha Brahma, so the four-headed Brahma. And when he sees that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually killing these demons with so much enormous powers, he actually thinks that maybe this is something wrong. I should test this, whether he is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he actually steals all the cows and calves and the cowherd friends of Krishna. And he's just doing it for a very partial time in his realm, but it looks like it's 1 full year in the earthly realm. So that's the difference between the higher planetary system and the lower planetary system. Just like even in this material universe, we can see that an ant's life would be so small compared to a bigger species of a life. For example, a dog's life. Or when we compare a dog's life with a human life, again, there is so much difference. So even within this material universe, there are so much differences in the lifespan of the different living entities. What to speak of the universes that are existing across in terms of the higher planetary systems. So Brahma just took the cows and calves for a moment, but the whole year passed in the earthly realm, and Krishna was doing his pastimes. And what was the wonderful thing that happened during that time when the cows, calves, and the cowherd friends of Krishna was captured by Brahma? Krishna himself expanded as those cows, calves, the cowherd friends. Krishna himself took those forms. And what happened when Krishna took those forms? All the relatives of those cows, calves, the cowherd friends, and everyone, they started feeling more attachment towards that particular form that Krishna had taken. So this shows very clearly that our real attraction is towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the very natural attraction that we have. The most intimate attraction that we have is for Krishna. And that's why he is Krishna, because he attracts everyone to him. He is a supreme attractor. So this is a very good way of understanding. And now we come to the point of how, so Krishna is already attracting everyone to him. And sometimes some people are unfortunately not attracted to Krishna because it depends on their own state of mind. Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tume bhaktya mai te teshu chapya. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that I am equal to all the living entities in this whole universe. It's not that Krishna is partial to the devotees and he is impartial to the non-devotees. Absolutely not. Krishna, actually, if we look at Krishna's pastimes, he is giving liberation to the demons. The demons who are getting killed are actually getting liberated. They are getting the Sayujya Mukti. But that's something that the pure devotees are not after. Pure devotees want service in relationship with Krishna. They don't want to become one with Krishna. So this is the concept. So even what to speak of devotees, the demons are also getting liberation. This is the costless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is getting that mercy, freely available mercy, freely available mercy. It's up to the receptor to accept that mercy and work with that mercy. The example given is that of the rain falling at all places equally. When there is rain, this is a metaphor that we are trying to understand. So rain is falling at all the places equally. But the places that are fertile lands, there we can have vegetation. We can grow a lot of different types of fruits, vegetables, crops, so many things we can grow. But if the land is not fertile, or if a land is rock or something like that, then we cannot grow anything there. So it's not that the rain is not falling equally everywhere, and rain is not giving its property of that liquid everywhere. It is happening, but it's the reception of the place where the rain is falling. Depending on that, it acts. So this is the metaphor that we are giving in terms of how Krishna's mercy is flowing everywhere continuously. A costless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, the people who are denying the existence of God are actually denying themselves. Why are they denying themselves? Because the existence is based on the energy that is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we are saying that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not existing, when someone is saying that, they are actually denying, indirectly denying their own existence. But that is an unfortunate situation of the people, ashraddha dhana purusha. So Krishna mentions about the people who don't have faith. Dharmasyasya parantapa, aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. So Krishna mentions that they unfortunately do not attain me. So it's not that because Krishna is not attracting them towards him. Krishna is equally attracting everyone towards him, everyone. Because how can a father not be in love with their children? It's totally impossible. It's not possible. So Krishna says, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murteya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. Krishna says that of all the living entities in this whole universe, the material nature is the mother and I am the seed-giving father. So he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the father of all the living entities. So he wants all the living entities to to get that mercy and to revive that relationship with him. That is the whole process of the devotional service. So we are talking about attracting the Supreme Attractor. So we talked about why Krishna is Supreme Attractor, because Krishna means one who attracts everyone to himself. So that is Krishna, Shree Krishna. And then let us understand what are the different stages of devotional service. When we understand the different stages of devotional service, then we will understand, after that, we'll understand what are the different characteristics of pure devotional service. So the different stages of devotional service is, it starts with Shraddha, Padav Shraddha. So Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatparat samyatendriya jnanam labdva param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. So this is, Krishna says that if one who has faith, he gets the knowledge. Even if you want to take an example of a person actually going to get some material degree, they have to have the faith in the educational system. They have to have the faith that this educational system is going to give me some knowledge, and with that knowledge, I'm going to use that knowledge and I'm going to help other people, and I'm going to serve other people with that knowledge. So this is the faith is needed for doing anything, literally anything. If Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a person traveling, taking a ticket for the plane, they have to have the faith that this plane will reach me, help me reach my destination. That's why they buy the ticket. So with that faith, they buy the ticket. So this faith has to be there for doing anything in this material world. What to speak of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shree Krishna. So Adav Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha. So when this faith is there, then we are seeking out the people who have that same mood, who have that same faith. And in that association of those people who have the same faith, the faith becomes stronger. So this is Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kaya, Lava Matra Sadhu Sanghe, Sarva Siddhi Haya. This is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that all the Shastras are saying this, that the association of devotee is the most important thing. Then just a second of association of the devotee gives one all perfections. So this is the wonderful state of being in association of the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shree Krishna. So Adav Shraddha, Tada Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya. Then one is involving in devotional service itself, in the association of devotees. Satam prasangat mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha tad joshana daso apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishyati. So this is a very beautiful prayer in Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is said that when the devotees of the Lord are coming together and discussing about Krishna. So this is Madchitta Madgat Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. When the devotees of the Lord are coming together and discussing about Krishna, they are attached to Krishna. So in that attachment to Krishna, they're discussing about Krishna's topics. And therefore their mind is totally engrossed in Krishna. Madchitta, Madgat Prana. Their whole life is engrossed in that particular moment. They're 100% in Krishna consciousness. And what is the whole life? It is from one moment to another moment. That is life. So it's important to understand that the moment, every moment has got its own significance. Each and every moment. So this is Satam Prasangat Mama Virya Samvido. So when the devotees of the Lord are coming together and discussing about Krishna's pastimes, what Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, and the devotees of Krishna are talking about Krishna and his devotees. So all this wonderful scriptures that we have, and that is unlimited again. The scriptures that are there are unlimited. So when this discussion is taking place, Satam Prasagat Mama Virya Samvido, Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha. So what the Srimad Bhagavatam is saying is that in that state, Hritkarna Rasayana Katha. So the heart and the ears are fully engrossed and fully in that blissful state of mind. Rasayana katha. So it's full of rasa. Rasayana. What is rasayana? It is full of bliss. There is nothing else other than bliss. We will discuss about this. Sandrananda Visheshatma. So when we discuss about the characteristics of pure devotional service, there is one characteristic called Sandrananda Visheshatma. So that Sandrananda is that it's full of bliss. There is nothing other than bliss. Raso Vaisaha. So, and when that bliss is there, then there is nothing else. Then the person does not need anything else. That is the only thing that is needed, because that's what everyone in this universe is composed of. They're actually part and parcel of Krishna. Mame vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Mana shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. So every living entity in this whole universe are direct part and parcel of Krishna. They are always linked to Krishna. At no point in time they are not linked with Krishna. It's just a matter of realizing that. That's why it's called self-realization. This path of bhakti is self-realization. We are realizing that we have been always connected with Krishna. At no point of time we were not connected with Krishna. That is that will be the conclusion of pure devotional service. So this is a Rasayana Katha. So it is Rasayana Katha. This discussion about Krishna, his pastimes, and his talks and everything related to Krishna is full of bliss. There is only bliss. There is nothing else. Sandrananda. So this is Rasayana Katha. Tad Joshanad Ashwa Apavarga Vartmani. So in that particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that in that association of devotees, when that discussion about Krishna is going on, Tad Joshanad Ashwa Apavarga Vartmani. Immediately one is coming out of this world of birth and death. Immediately. This material world is a world of birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. So we are constantly taking birth, we are constantly dying, we are constantly taking birth, constantly dying. So it's like mrityu samsara sagarat. Bhavami nachirat partha. Maya veshita chetasam. Tesham aham samurdharta mrityu samsara sagara. So therefore Krishna says that. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that mrityu samsara sagara. So this material world is an ocean of birth and death. And the ocean metaphor is given here again because in this material world, ocean has got, if you look at the whole map of this earthly planetary system, for example, there's a lot of water. Ocean occupies a lot of space. So it's just a simile to give an example of how this material world is the whole concept is birth and death, birth and death. Punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Again, getting into the womb of a particular type of mother, different species of life. So this is constantly going on. So that is the material world. And Srila Prabhupada actually gives the example of Pavarga. So Papha Babhama. So in the Devanagari script, just like in English we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G up to Z. In the Devanagari there is A, I, E, U, U. And then there is Kakha, Gaganga, Papha Babhama, Chacha, Jajanya. So this Papha Babhama is what is Pavarga. It is this material world is called Pavarga, and that is a Parishram. Pena. So Srila Prabhupada gives the example that in this material world, we are doing a lot of struggle. There is a struggle for existence, unfortunately. Even to get a small thing, you struggle, and then you finally get it. But then that happiness does not stay forever. That happiness just is momentary. And then again, the next thing comes. Again, struggle, get it. Again, this cycle of that's the cycle. So that's why yehi sansparshaja boga dukkha yona yavate adyantavanta konte nate shuramate buddha. As Krishna says that all these material experiences are based on the sense getting in touch with a sense object. And it is, Krishna actually says that it is dukkha yoni. It is actually the cause of sorrow. Because it's all based on temporary existence. It's not permanent. And we are actually permanent. We are not this temporary thing that keeps on changing. Dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehandaram prapte dhira satram uyate. As Krishna says, that because there is a presence of the real us, these changes are taking place from the childhood to youth to old age, and then the next state is death. So therefore, a sober person is not bewildered by these changes. And that is the first step in spiritual life, this understanding that we are eternal. And that is Kleshagni. So I will come to that now. So Tad Joshana Aswa Apavarga Vartmani Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishati. So in that particular verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, the last line is when that happens, when one is in association of devotees discussing about Krishna and his devotees, pure devotees, and when one is engrossed in that, then one is not in this material world. One is in the spiritual world immediately. Yatra gayanti mad bhaktya tatra tishtami narada. Naham vasami vaikunte yoginam hrideshva. So Krishna is saying to Narada that I am not in Vaikuntha. I am not in the spiritual world. Naham yoginam hrideshva. I am not in the heart of the yogis. Even though there is this verse, dhyana avastita tadgatena manasa pashyantiyam yogina. There is this verse, but Krishna is emphasizing the fact that when the devotees of the Lord are singing together his glories, talking about him, there he is. Tatra tishtami narada. So he is giving that, he's just emphasizing that this is the goal of human form of life. When the devotees of the Lord are coming together and discussing about the Lord and his pastimes and the pure devotees, that is the goal of life. So Tad Shraddha Rati Bhakti Anukramishati. So in that particular verse, it is saying that when that is happening, one's faith, Shraddha Rati, one's attachment to Krishna and Bhakti, the devotional service, Anukramishati. It keeps on increasing. So that's the water that is given to the seed of devotional service, and the devotion and the plant then grows. Shravanadhi Shuddha Chitte Karoyoday. When one is hearing about Krishna, and in that humble state of mind, one is hearing about Krishna, then one automatically knows that I am eternally part and parcel of Krishna. At no point in time I'm separate from Krishna. But that is pure devotional service. So we were discussing about the Adhav Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Tatha Bhajana Kriya. So we were talking about the Bhajana Kriya. Then when there is this Bhajana Kriya, when one is engaged in the devotional service in association of the devotees, then Anartha Nivrati. And the fourth is one is getting rid of all this impurities that unfortunately one accumulates when one takes birth after birth in this material world. The attachments, the innumerable material attachments that one gets in this material world. And what is the use of those attachments? No use, because it's material, it's based on matter. It is not going to help the real eternal soul in terms of understanding that it is always a part and parcel of Krishna. So that is so that when this, therefore Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahat Avagni Nirvapanam. So when one is engaging in chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. One is in that vibration, the transcendental vibration. And even the greatest, one of the greatest scientists, Nikola Tesla, is saying that if you want to understand the universe, understand in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This is what Nikola Tesla says. He is one of the greatest scientists. If you look at Einstein and Tesla, they are probably on the same level. Einstein also has said many times about how they understand, scientists, especially those kind of scientists who are who are really endowed with those wonderful abilities, they understand that there is spiritual nature as well. So this energy, frequency, and vibration, that is the way to understand this universe. What is the energy that is coming out of us? And what is the frequency? And what are we vibrating? So basing on what our energy is, if my energy is positive, I will give positive vibrations and I will be in that positive frequency and I will attract all the positive things to me. If I am in a negative vibration, negative energy, I'll vibrate in a negative way. My frequency will be negative and I will attract negative things to me. This is very, in the personal development circles, this is a very common thing that everyone knows. And that's why there is a huge importance in terms of understanding, having gratitude, being grateful for whatever we have. It is such an important ingredient of, especially in this day and age where there is mental health crisis as well. Why does the mental health crisis happen? Because one is identifying with negative things, and that loop of negativity is continuing. The loop of negativity continues, and then one gets depressed. And one is, unfortunately, because of being in the negative vibration, one is attracting negative things to them. So it is a matter of actually understanding what my thoughts are. So we have discussed this before in terms of one of the Sunday online talks that we had about the mind. So the mind is the cause of bondage and liberation. Mana eva manushyanam karanam moksha bandhanai bandhaya vishaya sangha mokshaya nirvishaya mana. So this is said in the scriptures that the mind itself is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. The mind that is attached to the sense objects is the cause of bondage, and the mind which is detached from the sense objects is the cause of liberation. This is Uddhared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Vasadet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhur Atmaiva Ripuratmana. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that through the mind, so we have got this higher mind and the lower mind. So what is this higher mind? The higher mind is in touch with our original nature. And that higher mind has the ability to be Sakshi, to be a witness. It's very important to be in that mode of Sakshi Bhava, it is called. In the mode of being a witness. When we are in that mode, then we understand, oh, what is this thought, that thought, this thought. So many thoughts are coming to us. And whatever thought we identify with becomes our nature. If we identify with a negative thought, that negative thought becomes, we give it a red carpet welcome, as it is called. And then that thought becomes our nature. And unfortunately, we are in that negative energy. And when we are vibrating in that negative energy and the frequency. So this is a transcendental vibration, as Srila Prabhupada says. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a transcendental vibration. Golokoira Prema Dhana Hari Nama Sankirtana. So this is said by Sri Narottam Das Thakur, that it is this, it's the love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prema Dhana. That is the most important wealth in this whole universe, the love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because once one is in love with the Lord, then nothing else matters. That was the state of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was Radha Bhava Dviti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. He was Krishna himself in the complexion and expressions of Srimati Radharani. And he came, he is again transcendental, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he descended in order to teach this, that one can, when one is engrossed in the holy names of the Lord, in thoughts of the Lord, then nothing else matters. There can be, one can become the wealthiest person in the world, or one can be a pauper. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is whether the love is there in the heart towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is so Anartha Nivritti. So we were in that fourth part of that Navavidha Bhakti. So we are So first the faith, Shraddha, then association of devotees, then Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. One is engaging in the devotional service, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Then Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha. Then one is getting fixed up in whatever devotional service one is doing, one is getting fixed up. Ruchi. Then one gets the taste. And one of the things about all these 9 stages is that it is not like exactly linear. If we are talking about that, sometimes one could actually go into the previous one and then come back, go into the front and then come back again. So because this is the state of the conditioned living entities. The conditioned living entities are susceptible to fall down, and in that conditioned state, until one actually reaches that stage of bhava and prema. So bhava is just the stage before the prema, pure love for Krishna. And that is so we will understand that when we discuss how to attract the Supreme Attractor. That is prema. Through pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna becomes attracted to us. We see the pure devotees of Krishna who do those wonderful roles. For example, Yashoda Mai, who is taking care of Krishna as a child. So she has that is pure devotional service. So there, the Lord is how the Lord, who cannot be bound by anyone, gets bound by Yashoda Mai, the Damodar Leela. And that is coming soon. The Damodar season is coming soon. So that is pure devotional service. That is what attracts the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one is establishing that wonderful relationship that is already there. It's a re-establishment. It's not establishment. It's just discovering what is already there. It is not something new. It's not a sadhya kabo noy. Nitya siddha Krishna prema sadhya kabo noy. As it is said in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, it's not something that is external to us. We already have that love within us. We are full of that love. Actually, there is nothing else other than that in us. The only thing needed is to take out all the impurities. When those impurities are taken out, then Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavadu Jivanam, Anandambudhi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purna Amrita Swadnam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param Vijayade Shree Krishna Sankirtanam. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, when that cleansing is taking place, cleansing the mirror of mind, Cheto Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So that is Kleshagni. So let's come to that six of the Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. So those are the 9 different, starting with Shraddha. And the faith is always there. The difference between a starting faith and the ending faith is, in the ending faith, one is fully convinced that there is nothing else to do other than involving in devotional service. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Karile Sudhrida Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. This is said in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In that final stage, Bhava Prema, it is that one is 100% convinced that just Krishna Bhakti is the only thing that I need to do. I don't need to do anything else. There is 100% conviction, and that has to come naturally. It is not artificially imposed. It is a progression that should happen naturally. So that is the different stages, the different 9 stages, and we are talking about the devotional service and Shree Krishna Akarshini. So this whole topic that we are discussing today is attracting the Supreme Attractor, and that is Shree Krishna Akarshini. That is pure devotional service. Who is Shree Krishna, as we discussed? Akarshati iti Krishna. One who attracts everyone to himself. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shree Krishna. And the pure devotional service is something that attracts Krishna towards us. Ye prayase ajita jito pyasita is trilokyam. as it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, that one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through knowledge. That I have the knowledge of Vedas, Upanishads, everything, so then I can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No, that's not possible. Through knowledge, Krishna cannot be understood. Jnane prayase udapasya namanta eva. Then how can Krishna be understood? When one is in a humble state of mind. That is the most important qualification to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Humility. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam. Acharya upasanam, shaucham, sthairyam, atma vinigraha. So Krishna says that these are the qualities. Amanitvam. So when one is humble, when one knows that everything is actually being done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So ahankara vimudatma kartaham prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. So it's the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that is actually doing everything. We are just, so we are also energy, but to understand that it is, Krishna is using us as an instrument. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachi. Krishna mentions that you become an instrument, Arjuna. So one is always an instrument of the Lord, whether one knows it or one does not know it. If one knows it, then one will be in that humble state of mind. When one does not know it, one is revolting against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the instrument is revolting against the person who is actually holding the instrument, and that is not the natural position to be in. It's quite an interesting situation that we in this contemporary world are going into. We are creating this artificial intelligence, and we are this neural networks, it is called. So through neural networks, all these machines are learning. So that's why we have all these different mechanisms where you say something to a company who has all the data related to us, and then that gives us the reply. So we have created all these wonderful machines, and we will be reaching that state where this machine learning, it is called. It is an interesting concept now. We are going into the scientific world, but it is good to understand this. So this concept that I'm saying, that everyone is an instrument of Krishna. So there is no one who is not an instrument of Krishna. But there are some instruments of Krishna who are going against the person who has the instrument. So the example that we can give is, if we create an artificial intelligence, neural networks kind of robots, and if the robots are learning things that are not good, and there is actually a field in the artificial intelligence and neural networks about the learning that has to be, the machine learning that should actually be in line with proper behavior. So what would happen if the wrong inputs are going to the machine and the machine is learning it? They will actually become, instead of helping us, they will actually be troubling us, basically. And the whole, so this is unfortunately the situation of the category of people who are not in that humble state of mind, unfortunately. And in that state, this whole universe is getting in that state of friction. That is adharma. That is what adharma is, where the person is thinking that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishwaroham aham bhogi. So when that state, when everyone is thinking that I am the Supreme Personality, I am the greatest, what is going to happen? If everyone thinks I am the greatest, everyone will fight with each other, because they have to establish their greatness, their superiority over others. So what is the world going to be? It is going to be chaotic. The peace cannot exist when everyone thinks that I am the greatest. But the peace can exist when everyone understands that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the greatest, and everyone else is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the real peace. That is what Krishna says. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shanti mruchati. As Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, that When one understands that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the enjoyer, he is the enjoyer of all the bhokta, yajna and tapasa, whatever activities is being done by the living entities and whatever penances are being done by the living entities, Krishna is actually the enjoyer. If one understands that very clearly, that I am not the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer. If everyone says Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer, let us glorify Krishna. The world will become Vaikuntha. That is Vaikuntha, where everyone is glorifying Krishna. So that is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. So Krishna is actually the proprietor of the whole universe. It's not just the earthly planetary system or any one galaxy or something. Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayakam, as it is said in the Vedic verses, that he is unlimited universes there are, and Krishna is a proprietor of the whole unlimited universe. Andantarastham Paramanu Chayantarastham Govinda Madi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. So Krishna is the owner of the whole unlimited universes, and he is actually present in every nucleus as well. This is Durastham Chantike Chitat. So that is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as well, that Krishna is far and he's the most near as well. There is nothing. Tapamyaham aham varsham nigranami utsirami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sadasat chaham arjuna. So Krishna says that I am the. So if we are getting a lot of heat, that is Krishna. If you are getting a lot of rain, like in Ireland, that is Krishna. Tapamyaham aham varsham nigranami utsirjami sa. Something is being taken away, that is Krishna. Something we are getting, that is Krishna. Amritam chaiva mrityuscha. Eternality. The real, what is the real us, we can never be destroyed, that is Krishna. Mrityu is also Krishna, death is also Krishna. Amritam chaiva mrityuscha sad asat chaham arjuna. He is the truth and he is also the untruth. So there is nothing which is not Krishna, in the sense that he is there in the form of his energy everywhere. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshu avastita. So he is present in the form of his energy everywhere. There is no place where he is not present. So we were discussing about the different aspects of pure devotional service, and so the first is called Kleshagni. Kleshagni is that state where one is not experiencing any material miseries. So actually, the material world has got this. There are three kinds of miseries that experience: Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Devik. So the miseries that come from our own body, like for example, now I have this cough and cold, and somehow by Krishna's mercy I'm able to talk, but I've never thought that I would be able to. There's a lot of phlegm and everything. So Adhyatmik, then Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, the different miseries that come from other living entities. It could actually be a misery from having fun or having fight with someone else as well. So that is Adi, and then Adi Daivik, all these natural calamities that happen, and these calamities happen often. So all this is material miseries. So this is Kleshagni. So one of the characteristics of pure devotional service is that is, material miseries are not experienced. It does not mean that they are magically disappearing. It means that their effect is being understood as being temporary. What does it mean? It means that one understands that it's just coming and going. It's not going to be permanent. It's permanent. If there is happiness, that is not permanent. If there is sorrow, that is also not permanent. If there is a adhyatmic problem, something from the body, that is not going to exist forever. It will, as it has come, it will go. So this understanding is 100% clear, and one knows very clearly that one is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So that is Kleshagni. Kleshagni. Then when the Kleshagni is there, there is Shubhada. That is the second pure characteristics of pure devotional service. Shubhada. So it is giving us full auspiciousness. That is pure devotional service. So what do we mean by this? Auspiciousness would mean that when one is remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hridiyantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti surat satam. So this is when one is hearing about Krishna, Swakatha Krishna, it is by itself, it is Punya Shravana. It is giving us a lot of piety, Shravana Kirtana. So hearing and chanting about Krishna. Then what happens? Hridiyantasto hi abhadrani. Whatever bad things are within, the bad things means that all the material attachments, the material attachments is not going to give anything to anyone, unfortunately. It is temporary. So all that is going to get cleansed. Vidunoti, get cleansed, and then Suhrit Satam. So in the association of the devotees of the Lord, Satam. So the second is Shubhada. Then the third is, there is a thing called Moksha Lagata Krit. So it is said that when one is in that pure devotional state, even the liberation is not, as we had discussed, the liberation is a final goal for someone who is for example, following the impersonal philosophy. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Religiosity, economic development, Artha, Kama, sense gratification, and then Moksha, liberation. So these are the four Purusharthas, as it is called in the Vedas. Chatur Purusharthas. These are the things that in the human form of life one can engage in. Religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But the loving devotional service to Krishna is such that even liberation seems to be insignificant. Bhakti Tvai Bhagavata Bhagwan Yadi Syat Daivena na Phalati Divya Kishora Murti Mukti Swayam Mukilitanjali Sevate Asman Dharmartha Kamagate Samay Pratiksha. This is said by Bilva Mangala Thakur. He says that when that pure devotional service to you is there, O Krishna, Divya Kishora Murti. So when we are rendering service to the divine couple, transcendental divine couple, then in that state, the liberation is actually there with folded hands. The goddess of liberation is there with folded hands. And what to speak of religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification? They are already there. So this is the transcendental position of pure devotional service. Moksha Laguta Krit. That is what is meant by, that is a third characteristics of pure devotional service. So the first is all the material miseries are eliminated in the sense that even though the person is externally experiencing it, they are not experiencing it like a conditioned living entity. So that is Kleshagni Shubhada. It is all auspicious. Why it is all auspicious? Because it is transcendental. When something is transcendental, it is above the three modes of material nature: the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So then whatever is we are getting is all auspiciousness. The third that we said is Moksha Laguta Krit, that the liberation itself becomes very it feels as if the liberation is insignificant. Kaivalyam narakayate, tridashapur akasha pushpayate, durdantendriya kala sarpa padli prodkhata damshrayate, vishwam purna sukhayate, yat karunya kataksha vaibhavatam, tam gauram evastuma. This is said by Prabodhananda Saraswati. He is saying that this merging feels like hell, because the devotee is not, the pure devotional service is based on establishing the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, re-establishing it, the understanding that it is already existing. So therefore, the pure devotee feels it's like a hell when they want to merge, if it is merging. And heavenly enjoyment seems like a phantasmagoria. Tridashapur akasha pushpayate. Duddantende kala sarpa patli prodkhata damshrayate. This material sense enjoyment is like the broken fangs of a snake, the non-poisonous fangs of a snake. If the snake does not have the poisonous fang, even though the snake will bite, it will have no effect. So this is the costless mercy of Sri Gaurachandra, that all these things happen, that Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, that this whole universe becomes like Vaikuntha. Yat Karunya Kataksha Bhavatam Tam Gauram Evastu. This is when the costless mercy of Sri Gaurachandra is going to the living entities, all these things is happening. That one is not wanting liberation, one is not after heavenly planets, and one is not after sense enjoyment. And the whole universe is becoming Vaikuntha. So that is Sandrananda Visheshatma, Shree Krishna Akarshini Chassa. So the fourth point is, so we said about Kleshagni, removal of material miseries. Then we said Shubhadha, which is actually giving all auspiciousness. Then we talked about Moksha Laguta Krit, so that is liberation becomes insignificant. Then the fourth is Sudurlabha. This pure devotional service is extremely rare, very rare. So actually, there is one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam where it is saying that Mukti Dadatis Karichits Mana Bhakti Yogam. Krishna might give liberation to a lot of living entities, but pure devotional service is something that is not available to everyone. It is Sudurlabha. And then Sandrananda Visheshatma. The fifth characteristic of pure devotional service is what we were discussing about, full of bliss. There is nothing else other than bliss. Raso Vaisa. Krishna means, and Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's devotees, everyone is full of bliss. There is nothing other than bliss. Sandrananda Visheshatma. And the last part, attracting the Supreme Attractor. That is Shree Krishna Akarshini Chassa. That is what we were discussing about in today's discussion, that the pure devotional service is something that attracts the Supreme Attractor. Who is the Supreme Attractor? Sri Krishna. Akarshati iti Krishna. Sarva Akarshati iti Krishna. One who attracts everyone, he is Krishna. And pure devotional service is such that it attracts the Supreme Attractor. And how does the pure devotional service start? It starts when one is in that amanitvam, in that state of mind where one understands that actually Krishna is the controller. Krishna is controlling everyone. Ekale Ishwar Krishna Arasabha Bhritya. Yare Yache Nachaye Te Taiche Kare Nritya. This is mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ekale Ishwar Krishna, and all others are his servants. Their natural position is to engage in the service of the Lord. And in that position, they get all the happiness, they got all the bliss. And whatever way Krishna is making the people dance, they will dance that way. Yare yache nachaye te taiche kare nritya. Whatever way Krishna is making someone dance. So this is what I was saying, that at the end of the day, everyone is an instrument of the Lord. Some actually know that they are the instrument, and some unfortunately don't know that they are the instrument. And when they don't know they are the instrument, they are acting in a way that is not in their benefit, unfortunately. And that is the Devasura Evacha. Vishnu Bhakta Smare Deva Asurat Tad Viparyaya. So there are two categories of living entities in this whole universe. One is the people who are inclined towards devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The other is who are not inclined. So then, as Srila Prahlad Maharaj says, that is unfortunate situation. when one is not in that state of pure, not even pure devotional service. If one starts the devotional journey, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino Arjuna, artho jignasur artharthi gyani cha bharatarsha. So whatever way, yena tena prakarena mana krishne niveshe, sarve vidhi nishedasyor etayor eva kinkara. Some way or the other, if we can fix the mind on lotus feet of Krishna, that is the most important aspect. So I would like to close this discussion with that saying that some way or the other, let's fix our mind on Krishna. Yena tena prakarena mana krishne niveshe, sarve vidhi nishedasyor etayor eva kinkara. All the other rules and regulations is subservient to this one major rule, which is that some way or the other, let us fix our mind on Krishna, on the lotus feet of Krishna. Then when that happens, then when the mind is entangled in the Krishna tvadiya padapangaja panjarantam advaiva me vishatu manasa rajahamsa prana prayana samaya kapavata pitte kantha varodana vidau smaranam kutaste. As it is said by Kulashekara Iyer, Alvar, that when the swan of our mind gets entangled in the lotus stems of the lotus feet of Krishna, then that is the safest position to be in. Then even at the time of death, because we don't know whether we'll be able to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead or not, one knows that one has already entangled one's mind in the stems of the lotus feet of Krishna. Aham smarami vad bhakta nayami paramam gatim. So Krishna actually mentions, yadi vatadi doshena mam bhaktam mam cha nasmaret aham smarami mad bhakta nayami paramam gatim. So if due to certain conditions, my devotee is not able to remember me at the time of death, I will remember my devotee. And he will attain the supreme destination. So this is the wonderful power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let us offer the prayers that let our minds always be focused on the lotus feet of the Lord, and let us always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishne matirastu sarvam Shree Krishna Akarshini. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna. If there is any comments or questions, we can discuss. I see there are a few comments. Harsh Tiwari, Jai Shri, Radha Krishna, Nick Jones, Lalu Gaming, Radhe Radhe, Suzette, Poiru, Hare Krishna, and Montonio Pro, Radhe Radhe, and Dillo Barkhan. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for this wonderful discussion that we had of that attracting the Supreme Attractor. That is the 6 characteristics of the 6 pure devotional service. 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. That is, as we talked, it starts with Kleshagni, removal of all the material miseries. Shubhada, one is getting all auspiciousness. Then Moksha Lagutakrit, even liberation seems insignificant. Sudurlabha, it is the rarest thing, the pure devotional service. Then Sandrananda Visheshatma, full of bliss. There is nothing else other than bliss. And last, Shree Krishna Akarshini Chasa. That is the pure devotional service, is the attractor for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Attractor. It attracts him. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sarvam Shree Krishna Arpanastu, Krishna Matarastu, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.